Well, my internet blew up, so Joe has taken over
Disaster.
as a precaution.
Yes, we can't be having that over and over.
Can't restart the the streams as well as lobbies.
You're causing havoc. That's what it is.
Oh, when don't I? I'm an agent of chaos.
Because yeah, he was F4 last season.
He's F4 this season as well, I think.
Just Havoc has a name.
Yeah. I remember Edzak was in F3, F4 last season, and as Mazzy
Yes.
decides to cut the corner very extensively on his way back to the pits.
Let's go on board with Kizzy X since we're talking about him.
Let's see what he can do here.
He needs to improve on that time of 1:38.9. He's a little bit off the pace at the moment, but like you said, he is F4. So
He is 2.5 tenths up on his current time, so track ramping up, and he's obviously just getting better. Coming up to the straight now of turns 9 and 10.
he is leaving no room for. Oh my god, no room for error at all.
This curb here is very tricky because if you hit that, the car just goes straight up in the air. Coming up to the hairpin, which cost me dearly last night. I clipped it and the whole car just decided to spin.
Back wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. 7 tenths up on his time.
You can very easily invalidate here as well because the line, the track limits line, is not at the wall.
Just drifted into the wall unless I'm seeing things.
I don't think he did.
It's kind of damage.
Coming around turns 22 and the last turn 2023.
Really leaving no room for error.
Tips the curb. Lovely, and that's going to be a 137.978. A whole second up in his time, but that's only good enough for P10.
In the top half, in the points for now. Well, if he stays there, that is. But
Stays there as a lot of the drivers are coming out now for their final run, warming up the tires.
just keep an eye on those at the top. He might be challenging for that pole time. 136.623.
I'm anticipating about the 136.3, I'd say.
Yeah, that's crazy close at the top. Just 4 100s.
Yeah. As Lockheed has a bit of traffic in front of him, which is his teammate Crystal, who lets him through. Crystal also the co-commentator in F5.
Did he stream last?
Pinzio has started he was there briefly last night. As Pinzio has started his final lap.
Yeah, so I'm on board with now. Looking to. Just needs to gain a little time. Clips the wall on the left on the exit. We're not going to have lost him too much time, a bit of traffic, but he's navigated through that very nicely.
And he is 1/10 up in his time currently.
So, purple, sector 1. Running as wide as possible without invalidating. Usually everyone runs
He's also up in his time too. Sorry, Joe.
That's alright. Usually everyone runs a pretty similar setup round Singapore.
The
Not much
wings are
wiggle
usually
room.
the same.
Yeah. There's no second quicker like Belgium in sector 2, but a second slower in the other two.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, the only thing you can really change here is the suspension. But even then, now Pinzio is currently 3/10 up in his time. Going back to Locker, he is only 6/100ths up on his time.
This is going to be close.
This has been very close, locking in the DRS zone of Sector 2 now.
It's not invalidate.
As Pinzio sits at 136.3, that is lovely.
What can Lockin do to battle back at 136.3? 3 attempts he needs to find on his last sector.
Could have taken more curve there. Takes that very nice. Doesn't hit the wall. It's a good job. 22 is fine. 23, lovely.
Running ever so wide. He's used all his ERS somehow.
Oh.
And the last corner, and a
Oh.
136.4. That will see him P2 for now. We got a few drivers a couple of corners away.
Reloaded is now heading to turn 23. He is up on his time as well. It's going to be very close. No, 136.7. As Enduro goes P3.
What can Crystal do? It's P6 it is for him. And that will be it, I think.
That's our starting grid for today.
You want to run us through, Zolf?
Can do. So in first is Pinzio, second Locking, third Enduro, fourth Reloaded, five Banked, Crystal, Mazzy, Ennis, Pavel Dudek and Aldrich rounding out the top 10. 11th is Andreas, 12th is Kiziak, 13th is Extinct, 14th is the Somalian father, 15th is Edzak, 16th is Gary, and 17th is Milagro, as he did not set a time.
I think I'd have set that time in one go. He was late in the session, wasn't he? And then
Yeah.
P8 is not bad at all.
He was setting very rapid times last night in F4. Just second ahead of everybody in Eaton Quali.
I would be expecting a lot from him then.
It's Ennis, I expect the world.
For about 5 minutes.
As it looks relatively dry.
It does indeed. No rain in the pits. Everyone's T-posing again.
Yeah, Singapore, a very small country itself. It's only like 22 square kilometers. People who live there can actually go for a run around the whole country in less than like an hour. It's crazy. Like,
some people have a larger back garden in some countries.
I know, yeah. It's meant to be a beautiful country.
I've never been.
Neither have I, but just very expensive. But like, they have some crazy surcharges. Like, if you get caught littering, like chewing gum, it's like $300.
Jesus.
I know. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And they're out. Pinzio gets a good start. We're going to be Locking. It's the rest of the field. This is a turbo cam. I'm going to wait. As Pinzio gets to turn 1, 2 very safely.
There's a spinner at the back. That is Ennis, who has gone around at the back of the field. Himself and Somalian father, unfortunately. Both.
Oh no.
Looks like they haven't got any damage, but we will head back to the front of the pack. 3/10 is the gap then between 3rd and 4th place. As the Alpha Terrier is looking up the inside of the Aston, but he thinks twice about that one. It's a long race. You don't go for it all at the beginning, and there is a little bit of contact there in the background, but they see their way through the corner, and the Alfa Romeo almost got squeezed right into the wall there.
The Alfa Romeo, Mazzy and Crystal are fighting as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 again.
Side by side, a little bit of contact on the back wheel, but it looks like they're going to get through there fine. Let me just sort out my graphics real quick. Almost all stayed in the position they started. First and second have stayed by the R. Reloaded has made one position on the McLaren. And then Aldrich with that good start. You saw him pull off to the side as soon as he got going, so he must have got off the line really nicely, and he's getting a couple of positions himself there.
Yes, it's Milagro at 5 places as well. Enna's down 8 after his incident with Somalian.
Yeah, both of them right at the back of the field, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Ennis has caught the back of the pack, but Somalian father's 5 seconds behind.
Just wonder if he's carrying some damage then with that one.
Yeah. As Pinzio will cross the line first. And just to check the tyres, everybody is elected for mediums apart from Banked, Alfred, Extinct, Kiziak, Edzak, Ennis and Somalian. So there's a bit of a mix here.
Yeah, that'll explain that gap sort of from 5th place there opening on those hard tyres. It's a track that you can go for that hard start. It's hard to overtake around here, so you might be a little bit slower out the corners, but it doesn't really matter too much.
This is a great track for defending, and if you want to learn how to defend, this is a track how to do it. Here at Hungary, where we will be racing next week, as Somalian is in the pit.
Must have been front wing damage then. I did see him in the
Yeah.
wall. I just saw Ennis go around, but I didn't see him hit the wall. But Smiling was in that left wall on the pit straight.
As the field seemed to have stabilised quite a bit. Not a large gap between anybody apart from in last place.
That's what the biggest gap is, that sort of 4th to 5th and 7th to
Yeah.
8th. Everyone else is staying in that DRS zone ready for next lap.
And DRS isn't overly powerful on this track. It's more about preserving your battery.
A yellow flag at the back of the field, but I can't tell who that is. Possibly the Haas there of Gary.
So for the hards, they're predicting about lap 17 to come in today, and for the mediums between 12 and 14 as the Red Bull... The Red Bull of Milagro is gone. He had no front wing and he has went in underneath the arch in Sector 3. That's going to bring out the safety car by the looks of it. Or is it a VSC?
It's just a VSC. It doesn't say any.
VSC.
I'm guessing it's a VSC. It doesn't say anything for me. He's right on the racing line. I'm shocked this is a VSC. The car's passed straight through him, but they have got the car out of the way, so yeah, it looks like a VSC for now.
Okay, so we're just suspending the race.
That gap has closed right down. I don't know if it's just people managing their delta.
It can be quite tricky.
One drive-through.
Drive-through. That was a very quick safety car, or a VSC, sorry.
Yeah. McLaren's got a brilliant jump though on the car. I had 2 tenths. Reloaded, who's lost a little bit of time to those front 2 runners.
So nobody else has actually made any places from the looks of it. Alfred's gone up to 8th.
Yeah, not a lot of moves at all, really.
No.
Just that one drive through for now. And he's called it a night there. I can't say I blame him.
Rushy for him. DRS already enabled. As a nice little train is formed from 1st to 4th.
Yeah, it's always difficult to get out of these trains, especially around a track like Singapore.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much pace you've got.
You just got to be very patient.
Yeah, wait for someone to run a little bit wide, clip a wall. There's a yellow flag, and that's the other McLaren, Kiziak, who's already got a drive through.
He's lost his wing.
And a crash from Andre in the left wall there. That will be nothing, apparently. The FI don't care about that.
Emulating Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel famously coming together on this track. A lot of controversy in this track in real life, wasn't there?
Isn't it just? Because it's got no front wing, so he'll be going in the pits. And they would have been hoping for a safety car, I think, there. But the car's been cleared, so we will go back to the front of the field. 2 tenths between reloaded and unlocking. A close fight between these 4, but a DRS train opening. Let's see, can the Aston Martin go for a move around the outside even of Pinzio? He goes very defensive there. Aston's just got to hold it around the outside, gets a little bit pushed for room, and Pinzio's going to... Is he going to keep his nose in? That's a wall contact, I think. That might be damaged, but he's going to set it down the inside. They are leaving no room for one another. I don't know if there was damage there. And there is a retirement at the back, so Alan Father has gone in the wall. And that will be a VSC again.
Reloaded was just literally camping behind the 2 of them, waiting to pick up the pieces.
I'm wondering if Locking has damage to the front of that wing on the left side. He hit the wall there. I definitely heard it.
And so did Pinzio as well. There's a lot of contact and a lot of shoving off the track there, but this is Singapore in fairness.
It's quite hard to go too wide through the corner in Singapore, but
yeah.
Let's see. Is there damage? I can't see any damage on either car.
No.
But the game is notorious for either showing no wing or full wing and nothing in between. I've really missed the... did you play the beta of this game?
No.
I've really missed the very first damage model they had. You could see chunks of the car missing and stuff. It's really cool. But it was also kind of unrealistic because someone took a hit to the back and there'd be almost like a shark's mouth bite mark out of the back of the rear wing, which looked cool, but it just was not proportionate to the contact.
Yeah, it wasn't practical.
Not at all, but it did look cool. Let's see then, can the front runners get a little bit of a better VSC restart this time? Reloaded got a poor restart, and because he had got the worst of that drive-through. 40 seconds behind now.
40 seconds. As DRS is back. And we are racing with green flags.
Reloaded is not messing around this time. He had the worst start, but he's had the better one this time. But that DRS is just too powerful.
He's thinking against it now. And further afield, there is a bit of a gap forming here.
Oh, he ran wide over track limits there and lost a lot of time. Reloaded almost sent it up the inside. All of a sudden, attack has turned to defense then for Pinzio, looking in his rear view mirrors at Reloaded, who's crawling all over the back of him.
He is, and Enduro is right behind him as well.
I'm wondering if Pinzio does actually have some front wing damage.
As Enduro is going to try and send it here. No. He thinks against it there, not using the battery.
Yeah, I think Pinzio might be carrying a yellow wing as he's gone down the inside Enduro of the AlphaTauri, sorry, and he's made that move before the corner.
I think there was contact there.
I didn't see anything on the stream, but there quite possibly could have been.
They were very close behind each other. As Lockie has already built up a nice gap of 1.4 seconds to the rest of the field, breaking that DRS.
There's got to be damage on Pinzio's car as he goes in the pits, yeah. Front wing damage then from the battle for first place, and that will see Pinzio pit far earlier than he wanted to. You reckon those hards can go to the end?
It'll be very, very tough. Another safety car, maybe.
Yeah.
Tommy went 23 laps last night on them before getting a puncture.
Really? 23. Yeah. So then Crystal 4 attempts behind Bankst, who was called back up with the pack on those hard tyres. He's going to run then as long as he can, I think.
Yeah, he's just going to be camping it out now, isn't he?
He sort of wedged his way in that top 5 and he ain't going nowhere until everyone pits. I'm not sure if Freddie going for the hards is a good choice though.
Well, go for another set of mediums and then try and go soft at the end or something.
Yeah,
it depends on safety cars.
Yeah, there is that. The only sort of issue I have with that, as you see Banks is really slow through the corners, is sort of he runs late and gets track position, but then he'll pit for the better, quicker tyres, but you've got to make all those moves around Singapore.
This is the thing. Like, clean air here is vital.
But will he be quicker on those worn hards in the clean air than the medium, than the hard, than the hard runners just coming out? I mean, they get caught up in traffic. But I don't know, a little bit of a snap there for Crystal.
Warm-up can be quite tricky here, as we said before in quali, especially on restarts. On a safety car restart, you can very easily lose the car if the tyres aren't warmed up into turn 23. As Enduro sets the fastest lap of the race, as there seems to be a spin here between the Alfa Romeo of Mazzi.
Yeah, in the background there, from the Aston's view, I saw that on stream. That will see him tumble out the points. A yellow flag for now.
Yellow flag, sector 1, that's okay.
Paul's back to Crystal.
Edzak and Ennis, as Ennis seems to have gotten the move done going into turn 1. There's contact there. Coming out of turn 3, Edzak is right behind Ennis here.
Crystal and Banks going side by side. So close to contact where Pinzio lost his wing. But they've kept it nice and tidy through there, side by side through the next couple of corners as well. But a brilliant exit from the mediums. And he should see that position. There we go. Lovely move. Hanging around the outside on each corner. And it paid off in the end, that exit speed on those medium tyres. Thanks for trying to hold on, but I think Crystal's just going to run away with that one now.
Yeah, he's got the tyre advantage, doesn't he?
He does indeed.
As looking up, quite some gaps are forming now further down the field, with Ennis being the nearest in P11, only 3 point. Oh, wait, as I said that, he drops 0.3.
He had a little bit of a moment through the corner.
Yeah. As Lockheed's just maintaining this lead now, not getting too far ahead of himself. But he's been like this all season. He's been very, very steady at keeping a gap. He knows exactly what he's doing. Very composed driver.
sort of manage that. There's no point pulling too much of a gap, especially around Singapore. Sort of
Yeah.
preserve those tyres, keep it 2.5 seconds. Keep an eye on what the driver's doing behind. A bit of battling going on behind him, so.
Especially as Reloaded is within DRS of Enduro, but
Ennis
hasn't
then.
got a whole lot of battery.
Ennis shaping up another move into turn 1 down the inside of Gary, and very cleanly takes that position.
The two F4 drivers coming together and battling it out for the last points position.
That will see Ennis up into the points, but he is blinking on that rear wing. He's used all his ERS already. So three of them come steaming down the straight.
As Banked is staying with Crystal, he's staying within that 1 second.
Yeah,
So maybe
interesting.
the mediums have begun to drop off.
Yeah, you saw the advantage through the corners. So I'm quite surprised. I'm saying that he's just dropped a few temps again.
Yeah, and he's using as well. Whereas Crystal isn't using at all. Pavel Dudek THCM is also within DRS on Aldrig. So now in the next lap or two, the safety car window will open for the medium runners, which means if there's a safety car, they should pit.
Yeah, and it's just had a spin there. I think as soon as I look away from them, something happens. And he's seen him lose a position in a few seconds as well. Let's go back to the Haas then. Aldrich's running a bit wide there.
As Enduro gets a 3-second penalty for track limits.
Yeah, first penalty of the night. It's an interesting one, Singapore. There's sort of a couple of corners where you can pick up a penalty quite easily, but the rest...
Well, here they come, Banks now, and also with a penalty.
As I say that. The rest of the corners are sort of hard to pick up a penalty. The penalty is a no front wing, normally, around Singapore.
I think it's turn 23. The last turn is... I'm not going to say easy to run wide, but it's possible.
It's definitely, yeah.
Depending on your route of attack, as you said, there's two main ways to take that turn.
Yeah, you can sort of swing it out wide, or you can really cut through the apex and run awfully wide on the exit, and that you do run the risk then of picking up a warning on the exit.
As Edzak is closing in on Gary, I think.
Keep sort of 5 temps. I'm just on board with the Haas trying to catch Aldrich at the moment. 6 temps. He's getting sort of better exit out of the corners, but as soon as he gets the car up and running, he's losing a little bit of time. Maybe those mediums are starting to get a bit old now.
Yeah. As Ennis is pitted for fresh mediums.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that spin ended up in the wall. Because he is quite far behind those ahead now.
Further up the field, Locking is just maintaining the lead, as we said, again around the 2.4 seconds mark. Next is Reloaded, who's 1.7 now behind Enduro, followed by Crystal, who's just under 2 seconds himself.
Yeah, definitely the closest battle on track at the moment is this Haas and Aldrich, as well as Edzak on the back of Gary. The tie difference in both those battles.
Yeah, key factor.
4 attempts then down the straight. Wing open for the Haas, wing not open for the Red Bull. And is he going to look to send it up the inside? He's not quite close enough. Just trying
As
to hold on to the
Pincio
back.
is gaining on Edzak further back in the field.
Yeah, obviously that contact in the first couple of laps, battling with Locking, who is now taking a lead in the race. See how that shapes out towards the end.
For the two drivers, yeah. But it just takes one safety car and then the whole pack is bunched up again, as we all know.
I think Pincio will be hoping not for a safety car at this point in time.
No. As yellow flag in Sector 2 as the Alfa Romeo, I think it is.
Yeah, Mazzy, he looks like he's in the wall under the bridge again.
And he has lost it, and that is going to bring out the safety car.
I know, just as I said, he would be hoping for no safety car, Pincio. It came out.
Well, the thing is, if he can push now, just for keeping it within his delta, he can get a few spaces or spots because everyone's gonna pit now. This is right in the mediums window.
Yeah, I think these front lot are going to get in and out before he catches anywhere near him.
Yeah. As we have Lockheed reloaded, Enduro, Crystal banked, and THCM all in the pits.
Yeah, Odrick has stayed out. That's an interesting move. He was on the hards, and it is a bit early, but you've got to take your opportunities when you can get them, I think.
You also have to remember the safety car is going to be out for 2 or 3 laps anyway.
Exactly.
17 laps at the mediums? It's probably doable, but it's a bit risky.
There we go. Pinzio's made just 2 positions under the safety car. He's all the way down in P9. And he doesn't have fresh tyres.
No.
Not what he have wanted.
As if you're locking here now, you're in quite a comfortable position as well, because Enduro also has a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, no, Odrick will be in the pits just a couple of laps after the restart, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Whereas the average tyre wear for the hards is usually between 3 and 5%, I think, per lap, give or take. No, it's less than 5%. It's about 3% per lap.
Yeah, but once it gets worn, that increases rapidly.
Yeah, and depending on your driving style as well, because if you're taking the curbs, they are going to degrade faster. This is giving Kiziak a great chance. He's going to pit now for fresh mediums. Back of the pack, it just makes no difference to his position. It'll just keep the safety car from the lap properly.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went back in again and put on a brand new set of hards.
Hards, yeah. The great thing for him here as well is he can race these tyres and warm them up at race speeds.
Yeah, you want to get onto the back of the pack right as they're getting up to sector 3, and the safety car will come in straight away.
Bit of a moment leaving the pits there. It was a bit shaky, but we'll say nothing and move on.
I think Ennis will be glad about this as well after that mistake he made. Or it could have been contact, I wasn't on board.
So far we've lost 4 drivers after 12 laps.
Just the one safety car.
Just the one safety car with 2 virtuals, yeah.
And 1 drive-through because he served that, obviously. Just waiting for the drivers then to catch up with the field. 40 seconds is the gap. Might be another lap or 2 under the safety car just yet.
Go stick the kettle on, lads.
I don't think Kvyat's going to have time to pit again, actually.
I don't think they're going to wait for another lap.
They usually do. Oh, he's hit the wall there under the safety car.
Oh.
Pushing too hard to catch up. I don't know if there was damage. His car ghosted.
I think he's missing his
his
right
end plate.
Yeah.
Looks like he will be in the pits then. Or is he going to... Yeah, in the pits he goes for some hard tyres. He's going to have to catch up by the end of the next lap. I think they'll wait 1 more for him. Usually 3 laps around the track under the safety car is the max they'll do. This is the 2nd lap.
He's got the hards ready as well.
An unnecessary wing change there.
This is a track where you could change your tyre allocation as well to harder, I think it's called. Not balanced anywhere, not softer. Because the mediums are the optimum tyre here. Softs drop off after about 4 laps, I think it is 3 laps, very rapidly.
Yeah, they're sort of a bit of a waste of time really, I think. Around Singapore, other than for qualifying.
Safety car is in this lap, so Kvyat is going to have to push quite rapidly as Aldrich is weaving now to warm up his tyres.
Let's get eyes back to the front of the field then. Kvyat, unfortunately, we're going to have to forget about him for now.
He's actually put on a set of use hards as well.
Just the one pair then he's running today.
Mhm.
He did pit off them very early though.
Aldrich is going a bit fast. Not really wasting any time. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's Kiziak again.
I think he's being throttle limited on the straight. Has he lost some more wing?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
As Aldrich has went now. And he hasn't really caught locking sleeping.
No, Reloaded's looking at the outside
right
there.
in the back of Crystal. Or of Enduro, sorry.
Enjoys defending that nicely.
So nobody seems to have made any places. That was all very clean. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1 as Extinct has gotten past Pinzio.
Yeah, a car backwards. That is Gary. Unfortunately, he's gone round and he accidentally went back to Kiziak there, and yeah, he's missing the front wing again. And this is running very high front wing. I don't know if that's just a visual.
Banked as they are going side by side for the turn. Crystal getting the move done.
Tight through there, too wide.
Isn't it?
Oh. He's going to let this one slip away though, is he?
These two have been battling all race.
Nose to tail. Through Singapore is brave. Thanks with that tyre advantage as well on those medium tyres. Because it's 5 seconds. Yeah, he's retiring, isn't he? He's going to call it a night, I think.
It's been going from bad to worse, but it doesn't look like he's retiring actually.
No, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Thanks ever so close to the back of Crystal. He can go so much later on those brakes with the medium tyres. He's going to look to send it, I think, before the DRS comes out. That'd be his best opportunity. He's so much later on the brakes. Keep thinking he's going to send Crystal around every time they get on the brakes.
He's really pushing him through these corners, isn't he?
In the background, Edzak running really wide. Thought he was going to go in the pits there for a second. I don't know if he's got damage. He's losing time to the cars behind.
He's being swarmed here by Pinzio and Ennis.
He's almost gone off track to make the overtake. So Locking has found his way through then at the front past Eldrick, but Eldrick's fought his way back and Reloaded is... I'm getting some visual glitches, I think, here.
I think that was the same for me too, actually.
Crystal has made a position.
And Crystal are side by side.
This is tight. Crystal keeps it ahead. Everyone running off the track and wide. Banks looking up the inside then of the McLaren. Keeps it nice and tidy. No contact for now. A spinner at the back by the looks of it, but he's being squeezed against the wall. Too wide through the corners and no contact being made.
Ferrari of Edzak has gone off the track, and it's also led to Gary spinning out too.
Oh, contact then between Banks and Reloaded in the wall. There's got to be damage for Reloaded, I think.
There's a piece of carbon fibre falling off into the track.
Banks then looking for another move on Crystal. Gonna get that extra speed with his medium tyres. Foot to the pedal. Can he send it up the inside? Is he going to go for the move? He's going to keep it nice and tidy.
I think he tried the dummy there for a second, you know that?
Heads are getting a little bit hot round here. A very tight line through there. He's playing with fire here, not to spin the car, but a better exit. Yeah, I think better about sending up the inside into the tunnel. It's sort of like Finn sending it up the inside into Castle. It wasn't a good idea. He's got to wheel up alongside, round the outside then. A very unorthodox place for an overtake, but he has made it past.
As DRS will enable. Sector 2 and Sector 3. Gary, I think, has gone off again.
That compromised exit then for Crystal allows Reloaded straight through. I think Crystal's lost 4 places in a lap.
He was just swarmed, wasn't he? As Banked has managed to maintain his place. Enduro as well. And Locking is right behind Aldrich here. And he's probably going to get the move done. No. Locking on those much fresher tyres.
2 pits out of the back of the field. Pinzio and Edzak both with damage. And they've had to go in the pits. Contact!
Locking and Alfred.
Aldrich losing a couple of positions.
2 places. Yeah. It's just not what you want to do when you've got 10 lap fresher tyres. Like, you don't need to be You want to get through to start building a gap, but you don't want to also compromise your race. As Lockheed is using here to try and build a gap now to break the DRS.
I didn't see if there's any damage to the car, the Aston car, but that's not the way he'd want to make that move at all.
No, as Enduro is right behind him now.
Crystal then losing another position side by side with the Mercedes, but he's going to fight that one back up the inside. And they're going to be too wide down to the bridge, but he thinks against that one. And the Aston here is just falling down the field. Yellow flag, Gary, that is on track. And that will be another safety car, and everyone's going to have to slow down all of a sudden. I think Eldrick's got to go in here. He has gone past gone past the pits. Oh, that's not good.
Is Gary retired on track?
Yes, yeah.
As we have 3 drivers in the pits, Crystal Extinct and Pavel Dudek in the other Haas. And this is going to give Edzak and Pinzio a chance to get right back into this.
There is the Haas, a very strange place to have crashed, I'll be honest with you. On the straight. Whether he was fighting the car on the exit for a good while and then lost it eventually, I don't know. A very strange place to crash.
I'll leave that up to the deliberations of the stewards. As Lockheed is now in first place, followed by Enduro. Aldrich has stayed out.
He had gone past the pits when the safety car was called.
Oh, okay.
He's going to see himself fall to the bottom of the field, I think, here. Enduro almost went into the back of the Aston just then. I do like the helicopter shot from above.
It's quite nice, especially in like a nice street track like Singapore.
I always think like the cars are so big now, they look like giant spiders running down the track when it's like the over top shot like that.
Yeah, they're massive, aren't they?
And
it
the
really
wheels
makes street tracks so much more difficult though, like.
Yeah, the wheels stick out so far from the chassis. And big long legs.
Especially the rears. The rears are massive, like. They look massive at least.
Yeah, they're definitely bigger than the fronts.
Yeah, it's kind of strange with the way the F1 calendar is at the moment, because we're having a lot of 3-week breaks, so there isn't really much to talk about in terms of real life F1.
It's the Chinese Grand Prix was obviously cancelled, and that's left a month break. Eldrick's gonna go in the pits. There we go. Race his way in.
Yeah. Next up is Baku in 2 weeks' time with a very interesting weekend format. I don't know if you've seen it, but they've changed the sprint format as Enduro is really warming up those tires going very well.
I have seen that the new form, the sprint qualifying thing. Are they doing that?
Yeah, so their qualifying is on Friday now.
For the race.
And qualifying for the sprint is on Saturday morning.
Before the sprint.
And then the sprint is on Saturday, which doesn't determine the starting grid for the race.
It is interesting, isn't it? I think it might create better racing in the sprint race, as it doesn't matter where you finish, other than the points. But if you destroy the car, though, you've still got to get it rebuilt for the next day.
Like this is going to have big implications for the cost cap as well. But like I was listening to Matt and Tommy's podcast, the P1, and they were saying it's getting too confusing for fans. Now I don't agree with that at all. But an interesting point is that you can get pole like Magnussen did in Brazil last year, and the sprint just negates that because the better cars always make their way through the field as long as nothing happens, right? So with this way, if an anomaly like a Magnussen pole happens again, he'll keep that pole for the race.
For the actual race rather than...
Yeah. And now even more interesting, after Baku, I think is Imola, and they're doing a new qualifying format there as well.
Oh, the hards, the mediums, and the softs for the 3 sessions.
Yeah.
I've seen about that, yeah.
Which basically means you're just going to have people just staying out the whole qualifying session.
Well,
for Q1. Safety cars in this lap. Especially in a track like Imola where it's cold at this time of year.
Yeah, it's just going to be who's out on track when the track's the hottest. Or the
Yeah.
driest, I don't. We have to wait and see. Anyway, attention back to Ero. Locken's gonna look for a restart here. He watched Aldrich. He might have got a couple of tips. Who had a brilliant start. Let's see what he can do. 2 cars behind him, both carrying penalties at the moment.
So,
Both 3 seconds.
I myself, I did a safety car restart last night, but I went very late. I went just before the last turn.
I think you've got to. It's too early there, and you sort of. There's too much of a straight here, so I think you've just got to go either in this corner or really late.
Yeah.
As he has gone
As
in the
Lucky
corner.
has gone.
A brilliant start from himself then. 5 attempts. Behind not so much. 2 attempts is the gap then. The AlphaTauri looking up the inside, but nothing doing. 2 Mercedes next to
The
each
two
other.
Mercedes are coming very close to each other, coming to turn 3 now. Extinct is checking out Ennis to see what he's made of. As I think they're going side by side.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Let's just keep that position for now. See, Ennis is just a reserve, I assume, so there'll be no team orders back there.
Oh, Extinct's having another look as he's gone on the inside. Backs out the last second.
Yeah, there's no point ruining your own race, but he's going to go for a switchback up the inside. Very close to contact. Oh, and there is contact then. Extinct spins Ennis. And he will fall to the back of the field. Oh, that was a dodgy one.
Extinct spinning out his steward of this tier. It's not the best strategy.
Well, I'm going to assume Ennis is not going to steward this race.
Well, if he does, he'll just give everyone 20-second penalties.
That is not an incident that Ennis should be looking at.
As Enduro is staying with Lockig here, he's actually gaining on him.
Yeah, 3 attempts.
Yeah.
As Extinct picks up.
A 3-second penalty. It goes bad to worse. So less than a second separates everybody up to P11. There's going to be a massive DRS train forming soon when DRS is enabled.
Crystal being the closest then to that Extinct with all the issues he's just had. No damage though, at least. From what I can see, it was side pod to front wing contact, so he's okay.
As Edzak and Aldrich are side by side going into turn 3. Edzak's gotten the move done. Or has he?
Yeah, he squeezed him out of space and he's run wide because of it. But he will stay ahead for now. As Aldrich goes too wide there.
Time of penalty.
Can see who's got the straight line speed here. The Ferrari with the straight line. Gives me trauma. He's gonna go for a switchback. Oh, we can't quite get him moved.
He did that very late, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought he was gonna absolutely send it then. Almost carelessly.
As Extinct and Crystal are very close to each other. Going into the arch section.
Extinct with that 3-second penalty that he's just picked up as well. And a potential inquiry in the stewards.
By the steward.
By the stewards.
As Aldrich is very close to the back of Edzak here as well. No DRS yet for another lap, I think.
Everyone is close to everybody at the moment.
But he is using battery to make the move here. Doesn't get it to stick. Or has he? Oh, there's contact there.
He is past. But I didn't see the dirty details.
It was just wheel to wheel. It wasn't major.
Crystal then on the back of Extinct. 4 attempts. The DRS is enabled. And from the second zone will be used. It's going to be a big train here, I think. And not a lot of overtaking being done because of it.
Choo choo.
Crystal then the closest driver to the driver ahead of him. 4 attempts is the gap.
This suits Crystal now because all the drivers in front of him have a time penalty, apart from Reloaded. So P3 is definitely a possibility here for him, as it currently stands.
Could be a double podium for the Astons for now. It looks like though a penalty position is not enough for him, and he wants to make the position on track.
Just wants to get on with things, doesn't he?
Yeah, sort of. He wants to catch up with Reloaded. I think he's the last person really. He's going to make a move, but spins, goes round Extinct, and he will be out of the race in the left wall there, and that will be no front wing and a safety car, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
and it is out.
Just finish this race, boys, and get points.
I caught the end of that. I think he was just too aggressive on the throttle and span the rears and put it straight in the left wall, unfortunately.
Naughty, naughty.
And now he's going to be begging for no penalty, I think, from the contact with Ennis. The safety car is back out there, and everyone's close together, so that's at least something.
I don't think anybody be pitting now anyway.
No, I'd pit from the back. I think if I was Ennis, I'd be in the pit straight away.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah, Ennis, and maybe 9th place as well.
Yeah, he's going to know that Ennis is going to pit behind him, surely. If he does, he Reloaded in the pits. Getting off those hard tyres. I think I'd rather position.
As Aldrich has gone back into the pits as well.
I don't know if the softs are really going to be much use around here.
No, Reload's gone to the mediums. Aldrich's gone to the mediums.
Yeah, Ennis has gone in. Yeah, we're back on new mediums. Yeah, mediums all around then. An interesting decision from Reloaded though. The rest of them I'm not too surprised about, but I did not expect to see that AlphaTauri car in the pits.
Well, it's a question of how much of a delta advantage is it going to have from pitting?
It's not even just
these mediums aren't going to wear, are they? So
it's not even just that. It's the track position is so vital around Singapore, and he's not got a penalty. Everyone around him did have one. I will leave him to prove us wrong, but for now, I think that wasn't quite the right call.
Well, Pinzio's had a great recovery since his lap
I was just thinking exactly
that.
I'm in a P5 now then.
And I'm sure Crystal's going to have an incident report against him with that incident there with Extinct, so...
I don't think I really saw any contact. It looked like Extinct just got on the pedal a bit too quick.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but the way he probably slammed into the left wall as if he just, just lit the rears and just span it straight into the wall. I could be wrong, but it didn't look like contact. He almost hit the wall at like a right angle, which would only suggest that he probably span the rears rather than a bit of contact, but I could be wrong. I'll have to wait and see.
Now the interesting thing here is Enduro and Banked, both on 10-lap old tyres. Enduro on the hards, Banked on the mediums. And can those mediums go to the end?
Yeah, Crystal all of a sudden could be actually in a really good position here. If he can get a good restart.
Third safety car, I think.
Yeah, third one. If Crystal can get a good restart here and jump Banked off the line, he can definitely fight for that first place, I think.
Well, Crystal did tell me today he was going for the win.
Have to wait and see what his teammate has to say about it.
The German duo of Lockig and Crystal.
So then the soft tyres are out. I don't think they're going to go 9 laps though. Or 8 laps.
Has he pitted again?
He has, yeah, for the soft tyres. He's been smart about it. He's taken the softs 1 lap less than he needs to, but I still don't think they'll go. He's going to have to do 8 racing laps.
Safety car another lap, isn't it?
I think he'll catch up by sector 3. They're so slow through that second sector. That I think he might catch up. If I was him, I think I'd actually linger back a little bit and let the cars just go around the track. That's a bit naughty doing that.
So you know if you get caught, right?
I'll look away just in case. I'm not a mean person. No, he's caught right up.
Yeah.
I'd imagine the second he gets on the back of that train, the notification will flash at the top of the screen of the safety car in this lap.
It should have flashed there because we've just gone to sector 3, so
Yeah,
it
but I
doesn't look
think
like
when
it
he
will
catches
be.
him, there we go. Yeah, look,
Oh,
as soon as he catches the
never mind.
back, sort of. As long as you're not over halfway through sector 3, if the guy at the back catches up, they tend to be happy to go.
Uh-huh.
Although on Mexico, I have seen the safety car in lap called on 2 corners to the end of the track. That was interesting.
It happened in PSF5 Baku last season where the safety car was in, the person leading backed off so far, so early, that before even the straight, that the safety car had to come back out.
Jesus.
And it led to absolute chaos. As Lockett is going to lead us through this restart again. Let's see if he goes in a different spot or the same. He's
Corner
going very
entry.
fast as he's already
Same.
gone. But he hasn't really caught him sleeping.
Yeah, Crystal's getting that restart that I was saying. Although behind them,
Yeah.
Reloaded going for the move down the inside then. Maybe that tyre strategy is the correct call. He's past Pinzio. I think he pitted from P4, didn't he? So he's only lost a couple of positions,
Yeah.
I suppose. 1 position in total. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
As Pavel on the softs isn't making any headway against Ennis. So, wait and see if that was the correct choice.
There's just not enough time or space, I don't think, for the softs to really come into their own.
No, their window is closing rapidly. It's got 2-3 laps at most.
And even that, the pace advantage on those softs are so minimal. Corner exits where you're stuck behind the car ahead is not really very helpful.
As Crystal is closing in on Banked just before the second DRS zone. Obviously they do not have DRS. And he's just biding his time.
Yeah, 1 more lap before the DRS will open. So the front 2 have got a good start then. 8 tenths the gap to 3rd place.
As Reloaded has closed right into the back of Crystal as well, within 3 tenths now. Within 2 tenths now.
It's looking tight. Cars are going to be sort of half a second quicker, you think? Let's see then, is anyone going to go for a move? Reloaded thinking about it, Eldrick thinking about it, but nothing just yet. All so close together. The top 2 almost pulling out of DRS. Yeah, the top 2 almost out of it.
Bank has actually pulled out the gap. Or Enduro, sorry. As he is using to try and bring that gap back in. Reloaded very close up to the back of Crystal here. And there's contact there, and he's forced him wide into the wall.
It did look like contact hit the wall. Crystal almost into the back of the car ahead as well.
And as the Red Bull gets past the Alpine of Pinzio.
No damage from what I can tell. Everyone's running fine. But definitely with some contact and a bit of squeezing into the wall there, but no one slowed right up yet. Crystal all over the back of Banks. Reloaded all over the back of Crystal. And Banks somehow, in all of this, closing that gap ahead as well.
Especially with 13 lap old mediums. This is great stuff from him.
He's desperate to make this move as Crystal. Just hoping for no contact. He's sort of watching ahead and trying to make the best move on the car ahead and sort of having to back out, and then he's got to look in the rearview mirrors of Reloaded looking for a move there. So he's got to go careful here.
Well, if you're banked in this situation, you're going to have to start doing some tire management protocols, as DRS is now enabled and Banked is using just to try and stay within that 1 second gap.
Yeah, Reloaded trying to force Crystal into a mistake, and it almost worked there. But everyone's so close together. Reloaded has got that Red Bull very close, but he's carrying a 3-second penalty as well.
As Enduro has DRS on locking, and that is going to really help him with the people behind.
Banks just about in the DRS zone, unfortunately for himself. Ennis passed Edzak then, up into P8. After the spin caused by his teammate, who is now out of the race.
Reloaded is really close now behind.
Yeah, Crystal's being forced into a couple of mistakes here, I think. Banks will be praying that they carry on battling so he can pull a gap. Keep having to see Reload almost stop in the corners to not run into the back of Crystal. But no one making any positions to shit.
Enduro is really closing in on Lockheed here. It's right behind him as Lockheed has a little moment there.
He's gonna go for it. Ooh, thought twice about that. Rightly so, I think.
The only thing is here, Lockheed has 60% more ERS than Enduro, so he can defend this as much as he wants.
See that Reloaded a different line through that last corner, and he's going to get the speed deficit on Crystal. He's going to go to the inside. Crystal to defending hard, a switch back to the outside, but he's not quite alongside. Edzak losing another position. But Reloaded will stay ahead for now of Aldrich.
Oh.
Another 3 seconds then for Enduro. That will see him fall right to the back of the field. Unfortunately for himself.
And this all plays into Crystal's hands. As
He's
Crystal
gonna
is
go for a
getting
move.
his side by side with Banked, he's gotten wide.
He's going to see this one through though if he stays on the inside, keep the tighter line, and there's contact. He's in the wall there. Banks out of the session. A yellow flag and another safety car, and a contact again.
Spin.
Contact with Aldrich and Crystal under the safety car. Wow, wow.
Oh my. Well, if you're Crystal now, you have to get in for softs.
Yeah, I'm sort of almost 0 to 0 there for Crystal.
Yeah.
He went from really a guaranteed P2 to squeezing a competitor with a penalty into the wall. And then a spin with Aldrich. I didn't really see what happened there and who was at fault. I caught the end of it.
I got the end of it myself as well.
It's going to be a busy day in the stewards tonight, I think.
It always is an Ero. It always is. What was the most amount of reports you ever seen for one race?
GSR, an Xbox League I used to race in, I think they had like around Kota was 24 reports in one race.
Kota?
Yeah, Kota is a surprising track that throws out a lot of reports. I never noticed it until I noticed that race, and then after that I've noticed in other leagues Kota is always a big one.
For us it wasn't too bad in F5 as Aldrich retires. He must have had rear wing damage.
Well, I would have stayed out for the points personally, but each to their own.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me it was Monza in GRS last season. I think there was about 30-35 reports.
Bloody. What? Was there anyone left on the track by the end of the race?
Well, there was 2 restarts.
Okay.
Because something happened at the start where someone just decided to spear into everybody.
Oh my.
And then the second restart, it was just like, I don't even know what happened.
Was this 35 individual reports, or was several for the same incident?
There was about 15 for the one incident, but there was everybody was just reporting everybody.
Oh, those 24 incidents were all separate incidents.
Oh my god.
There was more like tickets raised than that, but a lot of them were for the same thing. But there was about 23 incidents in total. It's crazy.
That's absolutely ludicrous. But where in Kota? Like what? In sector 1 or 3? Or?
Everywhere in Kota.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, out of the S's in sector 1, into the S's in sector 1, into the straight, out of the straight.
Because out of the straight is an overtaking zone after the DRS.
Yeah, but there's there's really 2 lines through there. You can go really early on the brakes and cut through the corner. You can go really late and deep. And what keeps happening is 2 people behind will battle and go deep, and then the guy in front will go for that tight line, and he'll clip the back end of him.
Yeah.
And someone just said that 6 finishes in Baku, and Season 5. In F5, sorry.
But Baku has a reputation for shenanigans, should we say, in F5.
I think in well, it was pretty clean. I thought.
For us, it was fine. Yeah.
It was good.
But
didn't
then
get
in
anything, thankfully.
In F4 afterwards, it was absolute carnage. With Jack Bailey winning that race.
Oops.
But it was absolute carnage.
I think the worst race I've seen was also GSR. Was 4 finishes in Jeddah.
4 finishes, wow.
And that race I did crash out in myself. Completely on my own, of my own doing. I haven't raced that since.
Bad omen that was. Imagine getting a podium for just certainly staying on the track, look. But we're not too far off it here. There's only 8 drivers left out of 17.
Well, I feel sorry for the one person who didn't get a podium for staying out.
Crazy stat there. Tim Liza, shout out to you, has done the standings for F5. And...
Shock, you get to win.
Well, I haven't won anything. I haven't won a race this season. And I am 51 points clear. With 0 wins.
That's crazy.
It really is crazy. Stevie only has 1 win as well.
I've had 2, I think.
You've had 2. I think you had 2 in a row, isn't it?
Yeah, Baku and USA.
Yeah.
Kota.
And
No,
then,
not loads of incidents there, thankfully.
And then 3rd in Silverstone after that crazy sprint.
It was the spin on the feature race that did it for me.
Oh, at the start, wasn't it? You literally just ballerinaed at the start.
Yeah, that right-hander, no, left-hander.
Yeah.
Just cut right around.
The safety car is going to be in this lap. Again, Lockheed will take us through this. Let's see how he approaches it this time. I'm assuming he's going to be quick. The only thing is reloaded now on much fresher tyres.
Yeah, 3-lap shootout. No penalties behind him, and way older tyres.
This is a very different situation to the last restart.
Yeah, but what looked like a walk in the park at one point for Lockheed is quite the opposite. Enduro, he has 6 seconds, isn't he? Yeah, so he'll be at the back of the field.
As these two are 1st and 2nd in the championship. Lockheed's in 2nd, Reloads is in 1st.
He's gone in the same point again.
Only 3 points separating them as we are away.
Green flag racing then for the 4th time. Quite a restart here.
Closest battle between Enduro and Edzak.
See Enduro carrying that 6-second penalty.
As Reloader gets a 3-second time penalty now. That's very unfortunate for him. But he's looking to get the move done now. Both are using. Gap is closing down. Is he going to send it? Goes on the outside. Move isn't finished yet. It goes wide off the track there. Is he going to make a move now? No. Rocky holds on.
Enduro made his way past the Haas as well in the background. But that 3-second penalty for a Reloaded is not what he wants.
As Ennis has snuck into P4 here.
And Crystal's round as well.
Crystal's gone off. This has been a very, very poor last few laps for him.
I've gone from singing praises to quite the opposite here.
As Reload is using it again, he's having a look at locking. No, doesn't take sight of it.
There's just no room to make a move there. He's going to have to catch him off guard somewhere, I think. He's ready.
To be honest, if you're locking, there is arguments to letting him through here. Because of the 3 seconds. Obviously you don't want to, but if you have to, it's not the end of the world.
I think I'd rather the cushion though between himself and the next driver who could take the position.
That is true. That is Pinzio as well, who's had a great recovery. Every time we talk about Pinzio, he just climbs up places.
He's on 15-year-old lap. He's been on those tyres as well since we said about his misfortune.
As we begin the penultimate lap now.
Crystal is far off the positions. Enduro making a move then on Ennis. And he does so. He is through up into P4, but he does have that 6-second penalty that will see him drop all the way back down to P7. But he's going to have a little bit of fun beforehand. Crystal then picking up 3 seconds, but that one doesn't really matter too much. He's ahead then to the lead. 2 attempts with both both drivers very close together. The third and fourth almost made contact behind it. It caught me off guard.
As Enduro is right on the back of Pinzio coming into the arch section now.
I thought he was going to hit him, and I was going to have to like divert where I was paying attention to. He's going to get the bare exit then, Enduro, on those soft tyres, down the inside. He's going to make that move. Up in a P3. And Reloaded still can't get past lock-in. And Lockiggs, he's really got a buffer now. 2 cars between him and anyone without a penalty. Pinzio's not really going to care too much about that pass being made, and Crystal is gone round again.
I think Crystal has rear wing damage.
Quite possibly, yeah. One more lap of racing then to go. Can Enduro climb his way any higher? It would all be for bragging rights, not for actual position. DRS enabled. Fastest lap.
Fastest lap.
Let's stay on this McLaren then. The softs are definitely going to be quicker. Nothing doing in the DRS zone for now. He just can't quite get close enough, can he, Reloaded?
No.
And Enduro's used all that ERS as well.
As further back field, Edzak is closing in on Pavel Dudek with the fresher tyres, as he's very close to him there. He has to back out a bit.
Yeah, these front 3 nose to tail through all the corners here. This is the last opportunity then for a move. He's gone for a switchback, Reloaded, but he's got a poor exit there. And that's going to allow Enduro up the inside, but ERS is at a minimal, and that will see the position stay to Reloaded, P2. They're ever so close, but Locke is going to see this one out, you think?
And that looks like all she wrote, folks, unless anything dramatic happens now in the last 2 turns.
Yeah, Locke is going to hold on to this one, I think.
Yeah, fabulous race for him. He deserves a win.
Yeah, 20 lap old hard tyres and still putting up a fight is very impressive. No mistakes being made, no penalties being picked up. As there's a spin over the line and a crash. Enduro crashed maybe before the line there. And he's fallen all the way down. That was just because of the penalty, down to 7th place. But I don't know if he made that contact before in the wall before the line or not.
I just see his car parked in the middle of the track.
I don't know if it was on purpose or he lost out the corner, but he slammed into the wall on the exit. But a win then.
With P2, Ennis with P3.
P3 and F3 for the F4 driver. That's an impressive run.
It's a great recovery for him after lap 1. Same with Pinzio as well after the earlier start.
Well, a great recovery even just from when he was spanned by his teammate, possibly. Let alone lap 1.
Donuts.
Yeah,
well done, you finished P8. Good job, buddy.
A man who we thought was going to be on the podium a second ago.
Yeah, it was very unlucky for him those last 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of it was self-inflicted, unfortunately. As he's going round and round and round.
The incident with Extinct, I didn't see it, but then with Aldrich, I think Aldrich was just trying to get through and collect them as a result of that.
And he is over the line then. In 8th place, 8 finishes. 17 started. Many more retired. Ennis was driver of the day, and between him and 2nd place, I don't argue with that.
They're both fantastic getting back all those places, but it's going to be Lockig celebrating this evening.
Yeah, from 2 Astons on the podium to just the one, but the top step nonetheless for Lockig.
And he will go back to first place in the driver's standings with his 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, a very dominant display tonight.
Yeah, and his 6th podium. Man to beat.
Indeed. I love how the yellow flags are flashing in the background during the podium celebrations. But that will see the end of the race. If you want to take us through the standings one more time.
Yep, just to round out the top 10. So first Lockig, 2nd Pinzio, 3rd Ennis, 4th Reloaded, 5th THCM, 6th Edzak, 7th Enduro, who also had the fastest lap. Crystal in 8th, Aldrich in 9th, and Banked in 10th. But 9th and 10th, I don't think will be getting points as they have retired.
Yeah, both DNS for those drivers, and then several more behind him.
Oh, there's a streak of bodies behind him. And that will about do us for today.
Yeah, some good racing, some good racing and some questionable racing all around the board here.
Yeah, and that was an hour long, that race.
But plenty of drama in Singapore.